Hello YouTube, Tim here, and I'm finishing up my Viking dragon bow. The design was basically like one of the dragon head ships. This was modified, or modeled after one of the prows that I saw. Not as intricately carved, but very much like that. So the mouth is actually where the string rests, and it ends up looking like a girdle almost, or a bridle, I guess. Yeah, a bridle. Here's the other side, made to look rather like a tail as much as I could, and it still just accepts the string right there. So, what we need to do right now is wrap the handle. To that end, I have two leather strips. The rough side on this one is going to go inwards, and this is going to go on either side of the handle, both as just a transition to make it look a little bit more attractive, and to act as an arrow pass if the bow is used in that manner. It's just long enough to fit around the bow and meet in the center here. So what I'd like to do is trim it just a tiny, tiny bit. So just go like that until you, at the transition point, right there. There. And that's very good. There's still less than a millimeter of overlap. That's very good. And you can get it to where there's no overlap if you want, and that would be just fine. In fact, that might be appropriate. Let's just go and take off one tiny, tiny little strip. Like I said, less than a millimeter. And see how that is. That is perfect. See? You have to gently pull to get it to touch, and that's exactly what I want. Now let's take the other strip and match its length. Or probably we shouldn't, because since the pipe diameter is going to be different, very slightly different, we're going to want to do it manually. Okay, so to get the rough cut, hold them like so, and cut like that. That gets it very close. After that, just like we did before, and that's pretty darn good. Okay, super. So now we have both sides of the bow, or of the handle of the bow, ready to wrap with leather. Now, this is the way that I saw it done on the Chinese bow that I had bought, the Magyar, the Hungarian style bow. Both sides of this suede leather are the same, so it doesn't matter which side we use. It looks like I'm about to run out. I'm actually using hot glue for this as well. I need to get another stick. Okay, so let's get another stick of hot glue, and we can continue. If the hot glue sets, that doesn't matter at all, because we can go over this with a heat gun, and that'll allow us to, melt it all, get it all nice and flowing. We want it to be thinly applied, but pretty much everywhere, particularly at the edges. And remember, the bottom edge is going to be covered. Only the top edge here is going to be exposed. Let me go back and stick the heat gun back, or the hot glue gun back where it belongs. Now taking the heat gun, let's plug it in, and we can remelt all of that hot glue which we applied. And you'll see it turn transparent again and start to flow and flatten slightly. Okay. So here we go. I want the seam on this side, so that's pretty much perfect. That is, I want the seam on the back of the bow, not on the belly. Now if you're not happy with that, you can reheat it, and that will again soften the glue up a little bit. making it possible for you to do some more adjustments. But that is, it's nice. It's just in good full contact. Over on the other one, let's do the exact same thing. Yeah, the nice thing about hot glue is how well it adheres to pretty much anything and how well it cleans up. Once it's solid, you can just cut it away or pull it away. You can always reshape it, reheat it. There's very little problem with that. I'm actually going to do a test soon. One of the things I want to do is I'm backing a piece of oak. It's not a very good piece of oak even, with PVC. And to get it to adhere to the PVC, I'm going to try using some epoxy, but I'm also going to try a smaller example of the same thing with hot glue, just since it's super available and it does seem to be pretty strong. I want to do a test between the low melt and the high melt to see if there's any substantial difference in strength and performance. The last one I was a little careless on and I let the air get under it and it airplaned away. If you're concerned about that, just hold the corner. So there you go. We have another perfect strip. Let's put it right where we want it. Get the two ends to meet, to butt up, and once you're happy, you're done. Simple as that. Now, I think that looks good, but of course this is not done. So let's go ahead and use our next bit. That would be the jute twine. This is not what I'm going to use, this specific one, because I have a whole nother large bundle of twine. This is nearly out, but it's the same stuff. I just picked this up at pretty much any hardware store. Blue Hawk brand. I don't really think that's a remarkable brand, but it does the trick and it's very inexpensive. Just a few dollars and you can wrap the handles of many, many bows. It looks very nice and rustic, and if you haven't seen one of my bows with a jute wrap, I really, really like them. They look great. I think it matches the wood finish beautifully. I have been experimenting with different clear coats. Up till now, all of my bows have used a gloss clear coat. This one's using a matte clear coat, and it makes it look much more delicate. I really like it. It's very elegant. So, to start, all I do is I take a dab of hot glue just to get it ready to go, and I put that on the end. So once you have that bead of hot glue, I'll go and I'll put it on the back of the bow like so, okay? So there you go. That's ready to start now. Let's go and put the hot glue gun away. And now, to start wrapping it, I go up a little bit. Since I want to cover the base part of the leather, we're going to go all the way up to there. So I might do a little dab of hot glue right under where I want to start turning the string, so to speak. And then wrap around it like so. Now, if I keep doing this, I'm going to be wrapping it here and here. So typically what I'll do is I'll actually be rotating the bow. I'll hold the bow and I will just feed the string like so, and rotate, and rotate, and rotate, etc. Just maintain a nice even tension. And then every once in a while, I go and I apply a bead of hot glue to run over it. Not on the top, but on the back and belly of the bow to help the string adhere. Just so it doesn't shuffle around. Because sometimes I found that if you don't do that, you can get the under shock of firing, the string can move around a little bit, and that's unpleasant. I really don't want that to happen. So for example here, I'm just going to put a nice bead of hot glue. It's not essential per se, but it will help. See, as we have this here, now it's passing through the glue. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to be turning the bow, not the string. There we go. And even if it sets, no problem. Again, once you're done, just heat the handle. All that glue will melt right back into the string and it will adhere beautifully. So, repeat, just beads of glue, not bearing too much concern whether or not it's liquid glue or if it's almost set when it comes out of the gun. That's okay, because it will melt when we're done. So, just wrap, wrap, wrap. And let's just move this out of the way, back to where it belongs. Take the hot glue gun and put it back on the wall socket so it can continue staying warm for when we need it later. Great. Okay, that's really it. I'm going to go and fast forward ahead to finishing the bow and to other portions. So, thanks for watching this segment. Check back in a few minutes.